Welcome back everyone. Quickly, let's continue our discussion on CSS margins. And right now we'll be discussing about CSS margin collapse. Only the top and the bottom margins used to have margin collapse. So I'm going to show you some demonstrations on it. As you can see right here, we're having this. Just imagine right here we're having H1 that is having margin along with top right, and the bottom is having this 50 pixel and the left is having 0 pixel. The second one, H2 is having the H2 tag is having the margin along with top value of 20 pixel. The right is having 0, the bottom is having 0, the left is having 0. In the example above, the H1 element has a bottom margin of 50 pixel and the H2 element has a top margin set to 20 pixel. So in common sense, you would seem to suggest that the vertical margin between the H1 and the H2 would be a total of 70 pixel, which is 50 pixel plus 20 pixel. That is, you would think that this 20 pixel, this 50 pixel plus 20 pixel, right? But due to margin collapse that used to occur, the actual margin ends up being 50. That is, it's taking the highest value. So I'm going to, it's only this highest value is going to calculate. It will never calculate this second one. So I'm going to show you how all this works quickly, so you can be able to understand it and be aware of it anytime you are going to use it. Back to our document right here. We are having this in our previous tutorial where we discussed about margin left. Right now, let's use the margin collapse quickly. I don't want this tutorial to get long. Please, everybody, please, let's just quickly write this. I'm going to use another preset with the class of H1, and I'm going to give it some declarations. Declaration will be part of this. I'm going to use part of this declaration I've used earlier. I'm going to use it, and I'm going to use blue right inside this one. Instead of using red, I'm going to use blue. So let me quickly give another. This is the first preset that is having this class of preset, and I'm going to create another class right here. I'm going to give this one class of preset1. I'm going to give it preset1. When I give it preset1, I think it is okay now, right? What else are we trying to do now? Now we are trying to give it margin. This preset1, we are going to give it margin. I'm going to give it margin. The top is going to have 50 pixel. Let's give it 20 pixel. 20 pixel. The right is going to have 0 pixel, 0 pixel, 0 pixel. Right bottom and the left is having 0 pixel. But this second one right here, I'm going to remove this margin we have here, and I'm going to specify another margin right here. I'm going to give it margin, and I'm going to use 0 pixel, yeah, 0 pixel, and here I'm going to give it 70 pixel, and here I'm going to give it 0 pixel. I cannot be explaining all this too much here because I've discussed about margin a lot. You can check our playlist on CSS margin, so you can be able to follow along easily. Let me save this document. As you can see right here, we have specified the bottom margin right here, and right here we have specified the top margin right here. So you are going to see that only this bottom margin right here is the one that is going to reflect. We won't be able to see this 20 pixel, which is at the top margin. So I'm going to show you the reflection. Reload. Can you see when I reload my document, we are having 70 pixel. How can you know that this is 70 pixel? I'm going to remove all this entire thing right here. When I remove it, you are going to see that only this 70 pixel is the one that is showing there. Now let's reload my document. Can you see? Can you see? It's nothing changed at the top right here. It's only this my left and right that changed. It's because I removed the left and right also out of it. So let me bring it back so you can see what I'm talking about. Let's say this one is having a 0. Let's say this one is having 20 now. Let's reload our document. It's having 20, right? Now let's turn it to a 0. When I turn it to a 0, you are going to see nothing will reflect right here. Let's reload our document. Can you see when I reload? nothing reflects. Definitely there is no any changes despite the fact that we remove the 20. So let's now say, for instance, now this one is the one that is having the 70 peso, and this one is having the 0 peso. Reload your document. Can you see no changes also? But when you mistakenly let's say, for instance, now when you mistakenly increase this one beyond this 70 peso right here, definitely this one is not going to be valuable to the margin again, because this margin collapse is going to work on the highest value. It's not going to work on the smallest value. So let's reload our document. Firstly, save it. Can you see now we are having the highest value is the one that is reflecting. For you to understand this thing very well, let's remove this value right here and remove this value right here. Let's specify margin top right here. I'm going to give this one 100 peso. Let's save our document and see what we have. Now I'm having margin top right here, so the margin bottom, let's give it 100 peso. At the second, this red should have margin bottom of, definitely you should calculate the margin top that we gave this one and the margin bottom that we gave this one, making 200 peso, right? Reload. Can you see it's not reflecting? Can you see the reason why it's not reflecting is because the margin collapse is reflecting, it's happening. So definitely it's going to take one of these because they are both having the same value. Then I saying this, the first one is the one that is having highest value. It's going to use it. Let's say, for instance, now we use 120 peso. Reload. Can you see it's now taking the highest value? So let's comment this. Let's remove this one out of here. You are going to see nothing will happen to our document. Can you see nothing happens because our document is already having margin right here. So definitely, let's say, for instance, now we remove this one, we gave this one 120 and we remove this margin right here. We save our document. When we now save our document, can you see the same thing occurs? No any problem. Our document is having no problems. So that's how you should understand. Definitely, when you specify margin top and margin bottom, the margin collapse reflects. So for you to understand that this really happens, I'm going to specify margin left and right. Let me specify margin left here and margin right here. Margin right here. When I specify margin left and margin right, reload your document. Can you see margin left is happening at this place and margin right is happening at this place? But if it's margin top and margin bottom we use, let's say we use margin bottom right here, that this one should have 200 peso. Let's reload our document. It will have 200 peso, right? Now this first one is having margin bottom who have 200 peso, right? But let's now specify the margin top here. If it's going to work, margin top, let's give it 200 peso also. Instead of it to calculate, it will never calculate. Can you see it's not reflecting? Nothing happens here. That's what I want to show you guys. As you can see, only the margin bottom is working right here. So let's say, for instance, now this one now higher, this one is higher. If the margin top is higher than the margin bottom, it's going to use the margin top that is higher. And also the same thing, can you see the margin top is the one that is now using now. If we remove this one now, you will see that no changes will happen to our document. Can you see when I reload? No changes. So, and also the same thing also works if it's the margin bottom also we use that is higher. Let's keep this one 320. Definitely 320 is the one that is going to happen. Can you see it reflect? Now when we remove this one, it's not going to be using this one. Definitely that's what is meant. Can you see? So, and even when we give the both the same value, it's only one that is going to use. That is the margin collapse that you can see. Can you see the both is having the same thing? It's only one that is reflecting 300 peso, 300 peso. The bottom and the top is working. So that's why you can remove one. This is just to make your code easy. Instead of specifying the top and bottom here right here, you just only need to specify the bottom. It's just a common sense. So try this. try this. If you just have to use the bottom and the top, you can use the bottom only, or you can use the top only. Then your margin is going to reflect. Practice this, and what akorede ayofe is my name once again. I wish to see you guys next time to the next tutorial. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Peace and love. Thank you.